Hey YNR fans! Waving hand, welcome to YNR Trends, your go-to spot for the juiciest Young and the Restless updates, shocking spoilers, and all the drama you can't stop talking about. From surprise returns to scandalous twists, we break it all down for you, every day. So grab your coffee, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive right into Genoa City's hottest gossip. The week of September 15th to 19th, 2025, in Genoa City begins with a storm brewing between families, old lovers, and unexpected enemies, setting the stage for some of the most dramatic days the town has seen in years. The week opens on Monday with tensions running high at Newman Enterprises as Victor is seen pacing inside his office, reflecting on the choices that have kept him at the helm for decades but also recognizing that his empire is crumbling piece by piece. Victoria stands before him with fire in her eyes, demanding answers about the latest moves he has made behind her back, and her accusations cut deeply. She believes Victor has betrayed her trust once again by putting Adam in a position of power, and although Victor insists his decision is best for the company, his daughter feels pushed to the edge. The room fills with tension as the clash between father and daughter echoes through the halls, reminding everyone that the Newman family's internal wars never really die, they just shift into new battles. At the same time, Adam is quietly relishing the discord his presence has caused. He strolls into Crimson Lights with a smug expression, ordering a coffee as though he doesn't have a care in the world. Sharon happens to be behind the counter, and her soft smile falters the moment she sees him. She has heard about his return to Newman in an executive capacity, and while she tries to remain polite, she can't help but probe into his true motives. Adam leans across the counter and assures her that all he wants is a chance to prove himself, but his tone carries just enough edge to leave Sharon uneasy. Their brief interaction ends with Sharon warning him not to hurt the people she loves again, but Adam just smirks, brushing off her concerns, a man who thrives on doubt and suspicion. Meanwhile, at Chancellor Winters, Devon is dealing with his own set of problems as the fallout from recent business decisions leaves him at odds with Lily. The siblings can't seem to find common ground, and the once strong partnership that brought stability to the company feels shakier than ever. Amanda pays a visit to Devon, hoping to mediate, but her presence only adds fuel to Lily's frustrations. The tension between Lily and Amanda simmers under the surface, each woman feeling protective of Devon in different ways, and as heated words are exchanged, Devon finds himself caught in the middle of yet another family and business mess. The air is thick with resentment, and it becomes clear that Chancellor Winters could face another major upheaval if peace isn't restored quickly. Elsewhere, Kyle and Audra are sneaking around once again, their dangerous connection growing harder to hide. Kyle knows his involvement with Audra could destroy not only his relationship with Summer but also his standing with the Abbott family, yet he cannot seem to resist her pull. This week, they share stolen moments at the GCAC, whispering in corners while trying to avoid being seen. But their luck is about to run out, because Summer, tired of excuses and lies, begins following Kyle's trail. When she catches a glimpse of him slipping into Audra's suite, her heart sinks and fury takes over. Summer vows not to let her husband's betrayal go unchecked, and the stage is set for a confrontation that will rock their fragile family foundation. As midweek approaches, the drama shifts to Chance, who has been investigating mysterious movements connected to Damien's case. His instincts tell him that someone powerful is still pulling strings from the shadows, and he refuses to let the trail go cold. Chance confides in Christine about the strange leads he has uncovered, and while she worries about his safety, she also admires his determination to see justice done. Their closeness grows stronger as they sit together in the quiet of the evening, poring over files and whispered possibilities, both recognizing that danger is lurking closer than either of them would like to admit. Meanwhile, Kane resurfaces in a surprising way, sending shockwaves through Genoa City. Many believed he had left town for good, but his return carries a sense of unfinished business and unspoken grudges. He makes his first appearance at Society, catching Abby off guard when she spots him at the bar. Kane's charm is still intact, but there's a sharpness in his eyes that suggests he isn't here for casual drinks. When Abby presses him on why he's back, he dodges her questions, leaving everyone wondering what his true agenda might be. His presence alone sets off a ripple effect, with whispers spreading quickly across town that Kane Ashby may be back for revenge or perhaps redemption, but no one knows for sure which path he will take. By Thursday, the Abbott family gathers at the mansion, where Jack tries desperately to hold things together as Ashley and Tracy bicker over the latest developments with Jabot. Jack's patience is wearing thin, but he refuses to let his family tear the company apart. Diane stands at his side, offering support but also aware that her presence continues to be a sore spot for Ashley. Tensions rise to the breaking point when Kyle arrives late, looking disheveled and distracted. His father immediately senses something is wrong, but Kyle brushes him off, hiding the truth about his affair with Audra. Jack warns him not to make choices that could jeopardize both the family and the business, but Kyle's guilty eyes give away more than his words ever could. As the week races toward its explosive Friday cliffhanger, Victor makes a shocking move that no one saw coming. After days of tension with Victoria, Adam, and Nick, he calls an emergency family meeting at the Newman Ranch. The room fills with silence as Victor announces that he intends to make sweeping changes to secure the company's future, decisions that will affect every Newman in Genoa City. His words land like bombs, and while Adam smirks with anticipation, Victoria's rage boils over. She accuses her father of destroying the very family he claims to protect, while Nick stands in stunned silence, torn between loyalty and frustration. The atmosphere is electric, each sibling ready to stake their claim in a war that promises to spill into the weeks ahead. And just when everyone thinks the chaos couldn't get any worse, a shocking return threatens to undo everything. A shadowy figure is revealed in the final moments of the week, a man long thought to be gone from Genoa City, stepping into the light and leaving Jaws on the floor. His presence is the ultimate twist, promising to send shockwaves through families, businesses, and relationships in ways no one can fully prepare for. The week closes with gasps, tears, and the undeniable sense that Genoa City will never be the same again. The week of September 15th to 19th, 2025, on The Young and the Restless promises to be a period of intense escalation, where the meticulously laid foundations of past storylines erupt into a maelstrom of confrontation, revelation, and desperate action. The canvas of Genoa City, perpetually stained with the dramas of its powerful families and ambitious interlopers, is set to be repainted with bold, dramatic strokes as characters are pushed to their absolute limits. The spoilers for this pivotal week suggest a narrative engine running at full throttle, focusing on the unraveling of a major conspiracy, the shifting dynamics of corporate power, the profound consequences of personal betrayal, and the fragile state of several key relationships that hang in the balance. This is not a week for subtlety or respite, it is a week where the pace accelerates towards what can only be a monumental climax in the ongoing sagas that define the show. At the epicenter of the week's turmoil is the rapidly deteriorating situation surrounding Claire Grace and the mysterious, ominous organization known as Perceptive Parasol. The revelation of her true parentage and her subsequent integration into the Newman family, albeit a rocky one, was a story of redemption and the possibility of forging a new path despite a tortured past. However, the past, particularly one as engineered and manipulated as Claire's, is a relentless pursuer. The spoilers indicate that the facade of normalcy she has been trying to build is about to be violently shattered. Jordan, the architect of her torment and a figure of pure, calculating malice, is not operating alone from a prison cell. The tendrils of Perceptive Parasol extend far deeper into Genoa City than anyone, including Claire and her newly found relatives, could have possibly imagined. This week, the scope of the conspiracy begins to reveal itself, suggesting that Jordan's imprisonment was merely a tactical retreat, a feint designed to lull the Newmans into a false sense of security while a larger, more sinister game is set into motion. Victor Newman, the patriarch who has built an empire on a foundation of controlling every variable, finds himself facing an enemy he cannot easily buy, intimidate, or outmaneuver. His usual methods of deploying private investigators and leveraging his immense wealth are proving inadequate against a shadowy entity with its own vast resources and a deeply personal vendetta. Victor's frustration will be palpable, and his actions will become increasingly drastic. The spoilers suggest he will convene a high-stakes, war room-style meeting with his inner circle, likely including Victoria, Nick, and Victor Jr., not just to protect the family business, but to protect the family itself from an existential threat. This forces a temporary, fragile unity within the Newman clan, as old rivalries and resentments are forced to take a back seat to the immediate danger. However, this unity is paper-thin. Victoria's maternal instincts are in overdrive, clashing with Victor's more strategic, and some might say colder, approach to handling the crisis. Nick, often the moral compass caught in the crossfire, will find himself mediating not only the external threat but the internal family fissures that the threat exacerbates. The pressure within the Newman household will be immense, a pressure cooker of fear, anger, and the desperate need for a strategy that can combat an invisible enemy. Simultaneously, the corporate battlefield of Genoa City continues to be a primary arena for conflict, with the power struggle between Newman Enterprises and Jabot Collective reaching a new level of intensity. The spoilers point to a major corporate move, a shocking acquisition or a hostile takeover attempt that will send seismic waves through both companies. This move is likely orchestrated by Adam Newman, whose position at Newman Enterprises has always been precarious, a constant dance on the knife's edge between redemption and regression. Adam sees the external threat from Perceptive Parasol not just as a danger, but as a potential opportunity, a distraction for Victor that he can exploit to solidify his own power base and finally gain the unequivocal recognition he craves. His ambition is a volatile element, and this week, he lights a fuse that could blow up the entire corporate landscape. His actions will be calculated, bold, and inherently risky, threatening not only his standing with his family but the very stability of the company they are all fighting to protect. Across the divide, Jack Abbott and Kyle Abbott are navigating their own treacherous waters at Jabot. Kyle's return to the family fold and the company was predicated on a new maturity and a desire to build a legacy rather than simply inherit one. However, the spoilers hint that the ambitious specter of Audra Charles still looms large. Her influence over Kyle, whether real or perceived by a paranoid Jack, is a point of extreme tension. Jack, who has fought his entire life to secure and elevate the Abbott name, is hyper-vigilant against any threat, internal or external. He will see the corporate maneuvering from Newman Enterprises, likely spearheaded by Adam, as a declaration of war. But his attention may also be divided, looking inward at his own son, wondering if Kyle's loyalties are truly with Jabot or if he is still susceptible to the siren call of power that Audra represents. This creates a fascinating parallel between the two rival families. Both are besieged by external corporate threats, and both are simultaneously grappling with deep-seated internal trust issues and power struggles between generations. The personal lives of Genoa City's residents are equally fraught, with romantic relationships serving as both a refuge from the storm and a source of additional conflict. The marriage of Billy Abbott and Chelsea Lawson is poised on a precipice. Chelsea's history with con artistry and manipulation, though in her past, has left a lingering stain of doubt in Billy's mind, a doubt that is ruthlessly exploited by the ongoing chaos. Billy's own impulsivity and savior complex could lead him to make a critical error in judgment, perhaps involving a misguided attempt to help with the Perceptive Parasol situation or to protect Chelsea from her own history, thereby inadvertently pushing her away. Their storyline this week is a classic Young and the Restless trope, a couple fighting to maintain their hard-won happiness against the ghosts of their past and the pressures of a present crisis. Their interactions will be charged with a mixture of deep love and profound fear, fear of backsliding, fear of betrayal, and fear of the unknown. Similarly, the complex relationship between Daniel Romalotti and Lily Winters is tested. As co-parents and business associates at Chancellor Winters, their lives are deeply intertwined. The professional pressure of navigating the corporate war between the larger entities will strain their dynamic, forcing them to make difficult decisions that have personal ramifications. Lily, as CEO, must be pragmatic and strategic, while Daniel, as a creative force, may chafe against the constraints of corporate warfare. Furthermore, the presence of Heather Stevens adds a layer of romantic complication and potential jealousy that could distract them at a time when focus is paramount. Their story this week is one of balancing business with personal history, a delicate dance that could easily be thrown off step by the slightest miscommunication or external shock. Even the younger generation is not immune to the week's drama. The spoilers suggest a significant step forward, or a catastrophic step backward, for the romance between Noah Newman and Audra Charles. Their pairing is an alliance of two somewhat cynical, world-weary individuals who see in each other a kindred spirit. However, Audra's ambitions are vast and often self-serving. Noah, seeking a purpose beyond the shadow of his family name, is drawn to her strength and clarity of vision. This week, Audra's machinations, likely tied to the larger corporate power plays, could force Noah to choose between his growing feelings for her and his inherent loyalty to his family. This choice will define his character moving forward and could finally move him out of the periphery and into the center of a major storyline. Underpinning all these narratives is a pervasive sense of paranoia and the theme of trust, or the utter lack thereof. In a world where an organization like Perceptive Parasol can infiltrate lives to the degree it has, no one can be entirely sure who is pulling the strings. Is a new character a friend or a plant? Is an old ally acting under duress? This paranoia fuels the character's actions, leading to rash decisions, accusations fired without evidence, and alliances formed on shaky ground. It is a week where characters will be forced to look their loved ones in the eye and question everything they thought they knew. Secrets that have been buried for months, or even years, will be dredged up and used as weapons in the various battles being waged in the boardrooms and living rooms of the city. The week of September 15th is, therefore, a masterclass in building narrative momentum. It is a tapestry where every thread, the corporate, the familial, the romantic, and the criminal, is pulled taut simultaneously, creating a picture of a community on the brink. There are no standalone stories, every action has a reaction that reverberates across the canvas. A decision made in the Newman Ranch affects a negotiation at Jabot, which in turn impacts a relationship at the Grand Phoenix. This interconnectedness is the hallmark of expert soap opera storytelling, and the spoilers suggest it is being executed with precision. The audience is being positioned for a payoff of significant proportions, where the mysteries of Perceptive Parasol will begin to unravel, the corporate landscape will be irrevocably altered, and the emotional fallout will leave every core character fundamentally changed. It is a week that promises not just to entertain, but to set a new, heightened precedent for the drama that defines Genoa City, ensuring that the events of these 5 days will be talked about and felt for many weeks to come.